Hey guys, the Chicken is here. We are back today with another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, I want to talk about a couple things. Obviously, we're going to touch on Season 37 in the trenches, which is very exciting. But I want to talk about all the things that were wrong with Season 36 in hopes that we can, move forward, build some better tech trees, and that kind of thing. So, before we get started, I appreciate it if you use the code Chicken Show. I appreciate it if you guys subscribe to the channel. But also, what I want you guys to do is let me know down below in the comments what you thought about Season 36. I know it was a bad season for most of the players. I feel like it got better, towards the end. We'll talk about that in a sec. But let me know your thoughts, your feedback, your concerns, just down in the comment section. So, hopefully we can share some of this with Supercell if we get enough feedback. But appreciate it if you guys go ahead and do that for me. So, let's use a different troop comp. I'm going to take some player bases on while we have a little chicken chat here. Crab meta. I got to update these... I gotta update these things. Actually, do we still have the critter cannons? That might be easier. No, they're gone. Stupid critter cannons. Anyways, all right. So, point number one: a long season, the values are all off. So, in a long season, you'll see most of us, even the chicken making it up to rank 25 or whatever. You're not able to unlock the full tech tree in a longer season. So. A longer season should allow you to make more progress in terms of the tech tree than usual, right? So not being able to unlock the entire tree puts a lot of players at a disadvantage, and it just makes the season that much slower, that much grindier, because it takes, instead of it taking a day or 2 days to unlock something that's going to help you, it might take 3 or 4 or 5 days to unlock something that's actually decent. So it's just, it kind of exacerbates all the problems that we have with the tech tree and leveling up and that kind of thing, just by making everything simply take that much longer to attain. So they need to fix that. That needs to be fixed. They need to, correct the values, if nothing else. So the next thing that was specific to Season 36 was, for some reason, they put every hero... except for, I think, Bullet, was required to unlock to move forward. That's just dumb pathing. That just doesn't make sense. That's, basically all of your extra keys are going into the heroes. And sure, it's nice to have different ones, but if they're going to do that, have a season like we had, like, what was it, 26 or 27 or something like that. It was called Heroes. And you had all of them off the start, and then you could pick your hero, and then you kind of build your tree around whatever hero you wanted to go with. That was kind of cool. Having them all be required to unlock is just silly, and it's just a waste of keys, because, if you're using Brick and Kavan, then you don't need Everspark, or if you don't need Everspark and Bullet, or if you're using Bullet and Heavy Rocket Choppers, then, maybe you don't want Everspark and Brick, because that's, you're just going to save up and get Bullet and, suffer through everything else for the time being. So opening up all heroes doesn't make any sense to have to do that. Next up, as everybody knows, we had Troop Health. That was required at the... we had Troop Health unlocked after 7 engines at the very end of the season. I think early Troop Health, at least one of them, is almost a requirement, going forward. It's just, it makes it almost impossible for people that don't have instant training to progress. Again, it makes everything slower, grindier, harder to get through. And yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, there's not much benefit to not having Troop Health. I think it just makes it a little bit less enjoyable to play for everybody. Yeah, so, at least throw in 100 Troop Health. I think 100 Troop Health should be the minimum moving forward for every single season. Yeah, so obviously not having Troop Health, the whole season's going to, it's just about whether you can survive opposed to taking down the base. I know we always get into that thing where it's like, we don't want a base race, but we don't want... I think there's a happy medium where we cannot be fizzling necessarily, or maybe we're fizzling early on and then we move through that pretty quickly, versus this season we were fizzling early on and then that stopped, like, in a 4-week season that stopped around like week 3. It was just a little bit too much of the same in that aspect, and it became really difficult. I think it's fine to go from a base race to a fizzle fest, whatever you want to call it. But you gotta find that right balance, because if you're too much one way or the other, then it just becomes less fun. And the whole point of this video is just to talk about things and ideas and you know, things that we can do, or just to make Warships better for everybody. Because I do love this game, and I don't think there's any other game out there that is, you know, that brings everything that Warships does to the table in a sense. And obviously, you know, I was close to 1,300 attacks last season, so I definitely enjoy spending my time playing this game. So, yeah. Okay, let's talk about you know, the whole 6ER versus 7ER thing. I mean, you know, that's kind of, I don't know. It's tough to say whether that's good or bad. I feel like, you know, 6ERs being able to beat 7ERs kind of makes sense at some point, because if you invest in more stuff, then you should be better off than the guys that have invested in less stuff. But then they should be better off, you know, by the time they get whatever is after 7ERs. So I know there was a bunch of comments on that, just people talking about, you know, 6 shouldn't be better than 7, or just that, you know, that whole kind of dilemma. Not maybe a little bit less exclusive to Season 36, but, you know, everybody knows, sometimes when you unlock an engine room, you're at a disadvantage than the guys that didn't unlock the engine room and they got, you know, picked up some extra defenses or something like that along the way. I think that, again, that comes down to balance, and it's a tricky thing to be perfect with, so I'm not going to harp on them too much for that. But it definitely could be, you know, a little bit better, or maybe, you know, be a little bit more intuitive and make more sense, or be a little bit more obvious. You know, it's like, okay, going to 4 engines super early is either going to be, you know, really beneficial, or it's going to hold you back a lot. You know, I think there's definitely some work they could do there. Yeah, so I mean, the whole thing with last season, it basically boiled down to, you know, having all the heroes forced to be unlocked, having no troop health, having a ton of defensive building damage. On top of all that, they threw an extra 6 rocket launchers, so it was just like, you know, it just became this crazy defensive meta, you know, that required you to really have all of the offense if you're going to compete, or all of the defense. And there was no real in-between from that. It was kind of, you went all in one way or the other, and if you didn't, you were going to suffer on both sides. Yeah, and, you know, I think even the deck layouts in Season 36 kind of, again, exacerbated this problem. Like, they were a little bit too favorable to the clustered bases. It was, you know, made a lot more sense just based on the deck layouts to make, like, those corner compacts, or, you know, the 6ER, the Ramp of Doom, Shishk like to call it. You know, it was really kind of favorable in that sense, and just kind of, again, compounded the problem of the poor tech tree design right out of the gate. So, yeah. So that's basically, you know, all the stuff I wanted to touch on for Season 36. But also, guys, we do have Season 37 right around the corner, and I am looking forward to this one. I assume it's going to be a shorter season, because we've already had more. Out of the last 3 seasons, we've had 2 long seasons already, and I think typically we only get a couple of those a year. So hopefully we're done with those. I definitely don't enjoy them as much. I don't think you guys do either. It's just you know, I mean, it's just a slower thing. You know, I know we used to always talk about too, like going to back to like a 60-day season or something like that, but I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe that wouldn't be that fun, because it seems like every time you have a longer season, it's I don't know. It depends on the texture. I mean, you can't say that they're bad or they're good. It's just I think they got to fix those values for the chest. So you know, it's easier, or it's at least the same as a regular season, to get everybody to that end of the tech tree. All right, so Season 37, in the trenches. What could that mean in the trenches? Typically, they make the season titles around either something being early in the tech tree, or a new prototype coming, or something like, I don't know, like Heroes or To the Skies. I'm trying to think of just off the top of my head here. So what could in the trenches mean? Do we have any prototype units that are like the miners in Clash Royale? Because that was the first thing I thought of, was like a miner type troop. I mean, a new troop would be cool, but I'm pretty sure that's not coming, because we haven't had any client updates in a long time. But you know, we can still hope, we can still dream. But I don't know. I think it's going to be. I'm honestly don't really have any ideas for what in the trenches could mean. It's kind of, but at the same time, I feel like I remember that name. We might have had that before in the past, right? Maybe I'm going crazy. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. I don't really have any ideas on what it could mean as of right now, other than, you know, hopefully a new troop is coming, or yeah, because I was gonna say maybe they're gonna bring in all the proto tanks because they're grounded, trenches, ground. But they already did that before, and they called, I think the season was just called tanks or something like that, or protos. But yeah, so you guys let me. Oh, we got a crystal there, nice. So you guys let me know what you think of that down below in the comments. And again, I don't want it to seem like I'm down on the game or complaining or anything like that. Just I felt like these were some pretty obvious problems that I wanted to just talk about. You know, and get, of course, get your guys' thoughts and opinions as well. But yeah, so let me know what you think of that down below in the comments, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. That is going to wrap it up for the video today. Make sure to leave a like if you found it interesting, entertaining, or informative. Catch the next one, guys. Check it out.